Is it Trump?
Well, actually, I think what's driving the ship first is Justin Trudeau stepping down. Right? So it's kind of like, whoosh, don't have to worry about that person anymore. You know, let's face it, Vashi, when the Conservatives are at 47%, a lot of those people are Liberals. And were Liberals at one point. Some of them are starting to drift back. Vashi, is the Liberals have been picking up support among women voters, a key element of the Liberal coalition if they want to be competitive.
The next Liberal leader will be elected on March the 9th, may choose to take Canadians to the polls right away.
Numbers.
Wow.
Talk about the movement for us, if you could, and how significant in your view it is.
Well, actually, what we've seen is that the Conservatives have gone from a 27-point advantage to like a 17-point advantage to a 14-point advantage. So the trend is now favoring the Liberals. Interesting thing, Vashi, is the Liberals have been picking up support among women voters, a key element of the Liberal coalition if they want to be competitive. The big question is will this trend continue, or will the Conservatives be able to fight back? And you know, they still have a big advantage and are in majority territory.
What in your view is driving the shift? Is it Trump?
Well, actually, I think what's driving the ship first is Justin Trudeau stepping down. Right? So it's kind of like, whoosh, don't have to worry about that person anymore. And also the other thing that's driving the shift is the focus on Trump and the focus on the Liberal leadership, right? People see the Liberal leadership, they wonder who might be the next leader of the Liberal Party, and it probably opens them up a little bit. But you know, let's face it, Vashi, when the Conservatives are at 47%, a lot of those people are Liberals. And were Liberals at one point. Some of them are starting to drift back.
From the Conservatives' point of view, I mean, they'd put so many eggs in the basket with attacking Justin Trudeau and holding him up at the centerpiece. They always knew there was a risk the guy was going to go. And they knew that with that risk would come probably some resurgence with the Liberal Party in the polls. Their belief in the Conservative Party, or so Conservatives say to me, this remains a change election. You can change whoever's at the top of the Liberal Party, but for Canadians, it is still a change election, maybe just less of a change than we might have anticipated 6 months ago.
What's your gut tell you about that, JD?
Well, there's also a reset of the Liberal Party policies. When you listen to Mark Carney, he's talking about balancing the budget, cutting taxes, investing more in the military. That's center-right policy. So the Liberals are going back to where they used to be very successful under Jean Chrétien, which is you take care of the left, but don't forget about the right of the party. And that's, you know, both wings have to fly at the same time if you don't want to crash. And that's what's happening with Mr. Mark Carney. And you hear the same thing from Chrystia Freeland as well. You know, it's more center-right party now. It's shifting in the middle.
I guess the question I have for you, Nick, is you also did some polling on how Canadians view who is best suited to handle Trump. How much do you think that does end up being the ballot box question, and how much does that depend on timing?
Well, I think it probably will be the ballot box question in the next federal election, because the thing is that for Canadians, they know that our relationship with the U.S. is critical, that you know, whether it works or doesn't work, it affects taxes, it affects inflation, it affects trade, jobs, all that kind of stuff. And I think, who knows, maybe people in the next election are not going to vote for a party that they like, might not vote for a leader that they trust or whatever, but they just might vote for whoever they think might be best able to manage that situation. And you know, back to JD's comment about change, you know, having a change election, I think what the Conservatives have to watch out is that when they look, that Pierre Poilievre doesn't look like risky change, because now if the ballot question is about Donald Trump, that maybe they look at all the different federal party leaders differently.
You know, it might not necessarily be change in the way we anticipated, but who do you trust to navigate whatever Trump does, but also navigate that change?
It's a funny dynamic for the Liberals right now, because the leadership candidates are trying to distance themselves from the legacy of Justin Trudeau and the Liberal Party, as JD, you know, delineated there. Well, right now it's Mr. Trudeau captaining the ship with Mr. Trump, and whatever deal they might work out, if we can keep these tariffs at bay for a little bit longer, what is that? Or the Liberal candidates then have to answer for that. They're going to have to hold the bag for that. The next Liberal leader will be elected on March the 9th, may choose to take Canadians to the polls right away. So how much do they sort of both bear responsibility for whatever happens with those tariffs in the end? If those tariffs get implemented, the point being, is Justin Trudeau held accountable for that? Is the next Liberal leader held accountable for that? Or is nobody held accountable for that? And then the ballot box question is the cast forward. It's everyone throwing up their hands and saying, I don't know how we're going to solve this Trump thing. So who do I trust at minimum to do the things they're promising me that they're going to do for Canada, because we can't control for the wild card that is Mr. Trump?